I just got back from slapping Jamie Foxx in the face, and so I'm gonna need some subscribes so that my social media clout goes up, so that I can war with Jamie Foxx. I didn't really slap him, but he needs to be slapped. What is his Netflix deal? Can he please make a fucking good film with his Netflix deal? Like, does he not want to do dramas anymore? Like, what is going on with his career? Where is the Jamie Foxx that was in Collateral? Where's the Jamie Foxx that was in Ray? Like, what happened to that guy? Where did he go? What is going on with his career? God, people get Netflix deals and they just go, well, now I can make all that dumb shit that's been floating around in my head for years. I'm Mac the Movie Guy, John Stark, and this is my review of Day Shift, which actually is not as terrible as I just made it sound out to me. It's like, this is not the worst thing you will ever watch. It's also not the best thing you'll ever watch, but it will make you wonder what the hell has happened to Jamie Foxx's career. And I definitely came also to the realization that Snoop Dogg just does roles that are very much like Snoop Dogg. Like, he does roles where he doesn't ever have to stretch himself. I really want to see Snoop Dogg do a film where he has to do something completely different, just 100% on the opposite side of reality. I want to see him play like a Wall Street stockbroker, and like, what is that performance like? Instead, it's sort of like pimping, vampire hunter, who's good, got the attention of the ladies, and just kind of like rolls. And it's like, that's how I do. And it's like, you've been around long enough now. Do you ever want to, do you ever feel like challenging yourself as an actor? Or are you just going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over? Arguably, his like debut in Training Day was like the most stretching he's had to do as an actor, because he was like in a wheelchair back then. But no, this is just sort of like Snoop Dogg just kind of walks in on set. He didn't even need a character name. He could have just fucking played Snoop Dogg. Honestly, I would have had more, love for the character if they had just been honest about it and been like, oh, by the way, Snoop Dogg's also a vampire hunter in his free time, because the character just is so close to who he is that they might as well just let him be him instead of calling him Big John and making, I think, pretty certain I'm thinking that's like a large penis reference, because they all the ladies seem to like him. So I think it's a hint at why he has that name. Just a guess. But this is a vampire hunting movie with apparently a very similar plot to Craig Robinson's snake hunting comedy on Peacock, where I guess the new thing that we're doing now is black men now have to do really insane things to keep their ex-wives from moving across the country with their daughters. That that's been a recurring theme already twice in two different things I've seen this year, and I wonder how many more times we're gonna see that this year. This all I could think about was Jamie Foxx going into the Everglades and snake hunting and joining Craig Robinson in this film and being like, yo, my wife's trying to move too, I gotta raise money. And then this just being an extension of that show. But anyway, it's that's basically what this is. Jamie Foxx he tells his family that he's actually a pool cleaner, but really he's a vampire hunter. And because this film lives in a world of vampires. And the day shift, night shift thing is like, do you hunt them during the day or do you hunt them during the night? And during the day, you have the benefit of, they can't go out in the sun. So there's that. And at night, obviously they can do whatever the hell they want. But the film kind of opens with him killing this one vampire. It turns out that vampire is related to this one psycho lady that's also she's one of the siblings on Home Economics. She's not the sibling, but she's Topher Grace's wife on Home Economics. I recognize the voice right away. I don't know her name, but I was like, oh, that's the girl from Home Economics. And that's pretty much the extent of who I recognize in this film, other than Dave Franco, who shows up to be comic relief, because this film is not funny enough with just Jamie Foxx. It's got to have Dave Franco, who plays... Explaining this plot to you, by the way, is just wholly unnecessary, because this film just way overthinks this plot. There's like a union, and we learn that Jamie Foxx is not in the vampire hunting union in the beginning, and he's trying like sell things, but he can't make as much money because he's not in the union, so he has to rejoin the union. But there's this like whole storied past about why he's not in the union, and it's like, holy fuck, what is going on in this film? You have so much stuff you have to learn in under 2 hours. You have this other vampire and like her dreams of hunting, which could have been her dreams of like becoming the head of, I guess, the area. I don't know what her plans were, because she was underdeveloped. She has this like nefarious phone call with some other vampire elder where she's like, yeah, well, I'm doing it. And then, like, we don't really follow up on that. She's just like, yes, well, and then we find out that she's just moving vampires into apartments throughout the city because she works real estate, and that's what she does. And so she can move more vampires in her town so she can eventually take over. It's like, okay, I would love to know more about the hierarchy of the vampire world, but instead I have to learn about this fucking union so that, like, Jamie Foxx can pick up a sidekick in Dave Franco, and we've got this boss of his that's annoying, and it's... this film is exhausting at times. Then he's got this daughter that loves like first person shooter games. He thinks she's so cute, and like every time she picks up her phone, she's never playing Candy Crush. She's always playing first person shooters. So like immediately when she gets into shit, she's just like trying to help her dad out. She's like, I got this. I've been playing Call of Duty my whole life. This movie is just like shenanigans after shenanigans. It was a movie that somebody wrote and nobody ever said no to, and nobody ever like came back and did like a second or a third pass on this film. They were just like, yeah, this all makes sense. This will be fine. We can definitely... Netflix is giving us like $100 million to make this film, so we're good. This is Jamie Foxx and part of his deal, and he got to make that shitty sitcom, so Netflix doesn't really care. And that's the thing, they really don't care. And then they wonder what's up with their subscriber numbers, and it's like, you keep throwing cash at films that are really not great, and you never have any like quality control. I don't know if you ever do test screenings for them. It's just like you're more concerned about getting a new film out on your service, like with a star, to try to attract people to have clicks. But if the film isn't good, then the first couple of people who watch it, they're going to tell their friends, don't bother. and the film isn't going to trend. I noticed that like today when I was on there, like Age of Adeline was like number 10 in movies today. You were gaining like tons of clicks from a old film that didn't even score at the box office, starring Blake Lively. um you don't necessarily need these. uh what does it say for the Age of Adeline is in the top 10 of, I don't, why, like, what is making America go, yeah, today Age of Adeline, and then like like everywhere, all over, everybody apparently is like, Age of Adeline, sure, yeah, that's like, okay. um I know people will watch anything. I watch everything because I'm just trying to review it and get reviews out. But Jesus, Netflix, you really have to. You've made some terrible fucking movies this year. Um, if you had just like anybody who could watch these movies before they came out, um, God, the world would be a better place. But at the end of the day, the movie isn't like, it's kind of entertaining, it's kind of fun, and uh it doesn't necessarily overstay its welcome because it introduces so many damn things that you want answers to that it never really resolves any of them. That it ends up making the runtime feel appropriate because you still feel like you're missing things. Like there were still things I wanted explained to me, things that happened. There's this character that's introduced in the film, and we come back around to her, like she's in like one scene, and then like Jamie Foxx just comes back around to her, and he's like, I knew it was you. He has this like moment where he figures out that she was some sort of like spy, and I'm like, she's barely been in this film. Like, what is like? Were there other scenes and then he just got cut, and like we just jumped to her character, and it's just like, I don't understand. Anyway, it's this film is not good. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna entertain you. I'm just gonna say it's not a good film. Is it entertaining? Jamie Foxx can be entertaining. He just does his Jamie Foxx thing where he's just like making jokes, and Dave Franco is just playing Dave Franco here for the most part. Just an extension of roles he's played before. Snoop Dogg's playing Snoop Dogg. This is not a deep film. Not a lot of deep thoughts, and we've had tons of vampire movies. I love when they start referencing them too. When Dave Franco starts talking about like Twilight and how much he loves it, and I'm like, yes, I know there's been a lot of vampire films. That's why it's important that when you make one, that you try to make it good and different, so that people who watch vampire movies actually go, oh, cool, I see what you did there, instead of, oh, what the hell was that? And I feel like this is, oh, what the hell was that? I don't think this film would have done very well if released theatrically. So, it's got good audio description. It was written by Dakota Green and narrated by Sri Gordon. So we got two heavy hitters. I feel like, God, Dakota Green writes everything. Either that or else Dakota seems to be the only one who ever gets their name in the credits. But yeah, so the narration here is good. I didn't feel like I was ever missing out on anything, especially in the combat scenes when people are getting decapitated and stabbed, and they're using sort of different tactics and wood bullets and trying to decapitate the vampires, and it's all kind of interesting, and they don't like turn to ash or anything weird like that. So the vampires, so it's it's got its own kind of spin on vampires, but in vampire killing, I guess, and I got to follow that thanks to the narration. But this film feels like everything but the kitchen sink to me. I don't even remember if it had a score. That's how unmemorable the score was, so I can't even comment on that. Um, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it has some generic music playing in the background, but nothing that surprised me. So, yeah, I would say you don't really need to watch this. I would love to see Jamie Foxx challenge himself with whatever his Netflix deal is and actually do something. Kind of like Halle Berry went out and directed a film and did Bruised, and even though I didn't love it, I thought her performance was amazing. The film itself I had a little bit of a problem with, but I thought she was great in that. So if you got to deal with Netflix, swing for the fences. I want to see Jamie Foxx direct. I want to see Jamie Foxx go to the mat for like a biopic or something. I want to see him actually do something that matters instead of something like Project Power or this that's just meh. Just anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and give Day Shift a C minus. That's where this overcomplicated bag of blood lands for me. I've seen way too many vampire films to be remotely excited or entertained by one that isn't ready to explain itself and just kind of is like, oh, cool. And then the fact that it's the same plot as that Craig Robinson show was, as killing it on Peacock was just kind of like, okay, it was kind of the same thing. But mothers, stop moving your daughters halfway across the country. Just realize that when you move, you don't have to. You can stay there, and then we won't need these movies anymore. We can get better movies if you just stay. If he's not abusive. He's just hunting vampires. That's why he can't always be there. He's got to kill vampires. It's an important job. Let me know what you think in the comments. Throw me a like and a subscribe. Don't watch this film. Go to my website, macthemovieguy.com. You can, the audio description project will let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it. And the adna.org will let you know what else Sri Gordon has been up to and what else Dakota Green has been up to. And that is it. Now I have to go review more movies because you guys are so demanding. All 60 of you just keep demanding and watching. And God, I have views. I have 2 or 3 views on my videos. It's like you guys just want so much from me that I have to go keep reviewing more movies. So, I kid. One of these days, the fact that I have 1,000 videos on YouTube, maybe it will just work itself out. But until then, that's it from me. See you on the other side.